Hey guys, it's your girl, Chef T, coming to you live from All Nations Community Church. Where is that? I'm so glad you asked. 18620 on Kedzie Avenue, where the pastor is the wonderful, the anointed Stephen W. Bell. Now, you all know that this is our second week, or going into our second week of our 40-day fast. And one thing about the 40-day fast is that you want to make your meals so that they'll be flavorful, but also that they're all plant-based, because we're eating from the ground. Y'all remember in Daniel, the book of Daniel, where the young men didn't want to eat the meat that was offered up to the idols. And so now what we're doing is, because of this, we're going to continue on the segment of what can I eat. And today I decided to create a meal for you that is something that you're familiar with, but we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to make pulled pork. Can you believe that? That's what I'm talking about, pulled pork. So let's go over what's on the table right now. On the table, we're going to always have our lettuce. We got our strawberries for the dressing, and we'll go over that again a little bit slower so you guys can get it. You're going to have apple vinegar, some vegan mustard. This is the best vegan mayo. I said mustard, but vegan mayo that you can purchase. What I'm going to do next week is I'm going to teach you how to make your own vegan mayo, because it can get a little bit pricey. They make it pricey to get you to use the other, and so they're going down on the animal products and going up on the vegan products, and it's cheaper. I'll show you how next week. I got some basil because I was going around looking for something in the cabinets. Don't always go buy stuff. Look and see what you have in your cabinets already. I have some cold pressed olive oil, some liquid smoke. We'll talk about why I have the liquid smoke. We have some jerk seasoning. And what I purchased today is Boston dry jerk seasoning. We're going to use that on our product in a moment when I show you how to do that. And then we have something that's a staple in the vegan community. It's called nutritional yeast. I usually buy a big vat of this, but if you are doing this yourself, you can get some Bragg's nutritional yeast. You don't have to go out and buy it if you don't want to, but this is something that we use in the vegan industry because it's something that you can make to taste like cheese. It's a nutty flavor. It has all kind of purposes for you, and this is what I use here. Also, I have a yellow pepper, an apple. I have some jicama. It is a Mexican potato. This bad boy goes on everything, and when we eat it, we'll eat it raw. I'm on a raw portion of the diet. I'm not doing the cooked food because, for me, it's something that, I can go in between. So for the fast, I decided to do raw. So jicama is going to be a part of that diet. And then we have what's this thing called? What piece of fruit is this? This is a papaya, something like that. You'll see why it's going to be done with in a moment. People are like, what if she doesn't know what it is? Yeah, I do. I'm just messing with you. And then my favorite portion of the meat, this is an oyster mushroom. Now, this is where we're going to make our pulled pork from. But before we start making the pulled pork, well, no, we're going to move everything over. So if you have an oyster mushroom, the reason why we use it is because it's very, very easy to manipulate. And so to make pulled pork, what we're going to do is we take a fork and we're going to scrape it. Nothing difficult, nothing hard. We're just going to scrape it on the back side of it. And what we're doing is we're going to shred it up. Now, usually in most of these type of things, I try to have all of this already pre-done for you. But this time I'm doing it right in front of your eyes to show you how fast this is, because it doesn't take a long time. And then once we do this portion of it, and then I'm going to actually have someone else do this while I make the other pieces of it. And they're going to continue doing this for me, y'all. And they're going to continue doing this for me as I begin to create what's going to go on top of it. Because when you're making vegan food, you have to make it. You see how that's pulling apart? It's pulling apart like turkey meat. You see that? See how I'm pulling that apart? I'm just pulling it, nothing difficult. Doesn't take, a culinary degree to do this. These are things you can do with your family as you're talking on the phone. Girl, listen, did you see what Pastor Steve taught about today in church? Oh my God, wasn't it on point? And he began to speak about it. And it was just really good when we were talking about all of the different things that he was communicating about. And as we change our diet and change our health and begin to change a lot of things that we're doing that we thought we couldn't do, and you all found out that you could. A lot of you guys came up to me today and even shared with me some of the things that you did. So basically, again, with the fork, I'm just literally scraping it or like combing it with this fork to get it to shrivel up. And what doesn't shrivel up, I pull apart. Okay, so that's basically what I'm doing here, and I'm turning it from around. And some of the things that I'm going to show you today, we're going to make 2 different kinds of sandwiches from this. Now look, y'all got time to come up here to get you a sandwich, because if you haven't eaten, I bet you want some of this, because when I finish this, not only is it going to smell good in here, it's going to taste real good. Pulled pork, and we're going to not only pull it, but we're going to jerk this. Oh my God, yes sir, we're going to jerk this oyster mushroom. Now you don't want to get portobello, you don't want to get the white mushroom, you want this particular mushroom. There's so many different kinds of mushrooms. There's lion's mane, there is portobello mushroom, which is good to taste like steak. And then you got the basic white mushroom, which it has kind of get used to all of it, but the favorite of mine is oyster, and also, which is this one here. And this is a pretty older one. I can tell that it's older because it's heavier. This one's grown a little bit longer. I get them, and sometimes they're big as my head, because they're organically grown. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second so I can show you. I'm not doing a commercial for this company, but I go to Pete's because they were the only ones that actually had ones that were at a pretty good price. This is $3.02. $3.02. This is going to make a whole lot of different things for you. Remember, we can do something for $15, 15 minutes, and that's all it takes. And then we have the king oyster. The king oyster mushrooms look like this here, okay? So I'm going to show it to you in the packet, and then I'm going to take it out of the package because this one's organic, so we're going to have to use this one right away, and we're going to use it for a lot of different things. So when you see this oyster mushroom, I know people say, I don't like mushrooms. You ain't never had it. That's why you haven't, liked it. So, it kind of freaks you out a little bit, but look how easy that shreds up. You see that? I'm just barely touching it, and it's shredding right up, and it's falling apart. Now, in a few seconds, what we're going to do is we're going to take this mushroom that really doesn't have much of a flavor, and we have to bring it to the taste of the animal. So basically, the animal has its own flavor already. It has its own funk, it has its own taste, it has its own texture. And this is as close to the texture of meat, and it should look very familiar to you when I'm finished doing this here. So I'm gonna pull this part apart here, and then we're going to season it. So I'm going to stop for a second, and the more of you that show up, the more you get to eat this pulled pork sandwich. I'm telling you that you will not be sorry that you drove up here to get you something to eat. Now, the calorie content is going to be the calorie that it comes from the actual seasonings that I use, because this here has no calories at all. Why? It's mushrooms. Okay, so now we've got that pretty much ready to go. Our second thing is that we've got to make we have to make it taste like pork. So how do we do that? We have to create a flavor, and how we make the flavor is with the nutritional yeast. So we're going to take some nutritional yeast. I'm going to open it up right before you, don't do this at home now, get somebody to open it up for you, right? But I just took a knife and did it because I usually, like I said, use a vat. And a vat, we get ours in a big 50-pound bag, which lasts us probably about a week in the industry because, we're cooking with it all the time. And so I wanted to see this. Now, for the most part, you want to use 2 tablespoons of this. And because I do this all the time, I'm one of those that will pour it inside. So that's 2 tablespoons there. How do I know? Been doing it for a long time. And so you get used to it. And then we're going to take another 2 tablespoons of oil. The 2 tablespoons of oil is going to go inside of this so that we can begin to mix the two together. Now, what makes it taste like pork? It's the liquid smoke. When I first did this recipe, it was by accident. Most of my recipes are by accident. And I was trying to make something else and I kept smelling pork. Like, why do I smell pork? I smell pork. And it was when I put these two together, and this is what it was. It was these things. And Pastor, can you give me a little water for me? And there was a cup here I had. He's going to be my sous chef for the day, or this bowl will do it. And so we're going to, Ooh, that smells so good. So once he gives me that water, I'm going to ask him to smell this, and he's going to tell me what he smells. So I'm going to take out these bigger pieces here, and we're going to start seasoning the smaller pieces. Now, right now, I'm smelling pork in here, and there is no pork. So I'm going to pour a little bit of that in there. So you would use probably to 1 part of this. So we have 2 tablespoons of the nutritional yeast, a tablespoon of, I'm camera, 1 tablespoon of the, or 2 tablespoons of the oil. And then you're going to have about 1/4 cup of water. Now, what does that smell like to you? It does smell like pork, see? So we make things smell exactly like what we need it to be. And what we're gonna do now is right before we use this inside of this, I'm gonna come closer to the screen. If you take a look at this right here, it now looks like pulled pork. See that? Pulled pork. And so that's all coming from the oyster mushroom, okay? And so now we're gonna make this oyster mushroom in less than 3 seconds become your sandwich for the day. And then we're gonna do something else with some of the other. So right now, we're gonna use this particular one for the pulled pork. So now I'm going to take, I'm gonna take my jerk seasoning. And if you've ever been around me before, you'll always hear me say, over season, always over seasoning in our environment is the best way to go because it doesn't have a taste. So we got to bring it up to where we want it to go. And so you want to take your hands, don't be shy. You know, I wear gloves because I don't like to touch food. It's just a creepy thing for me. And then we are then going to add our nutritional yeast in there. And let's get our pan ready because we're ready to cook. And in a few seconds, we're about to have some pulled pork. Now, in the pan behind me, I kept saying, I need some onions. And I kept saying, I don't have onions. And Pastor Steve, you know, I always come prepared, right? I got onions. I mean, it's like, you know, sometimes instead of having to figure it out, I had onions. I was like, where's my onions? I didn't know if I had onions. I got onions right here. Okay. So in a frying pan, we're going to take some onions. Now remember, in your kitchen, you want to have as much in front of you as possible because you want to make it as easy as possible especially when you're in a fast. When you're in a fast, you just do not want to have to look for things. You don't want to have to work hard for it, you know, because when you're doing meat, you already know what it's going to do. So I'm gonna just chop this up real quick. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna chop it up. And then we're gonna set it on in here and let it get translucent and put it on into this pan. And then once I drop it in this pan, I'm gonna turn on the fire, and then we're gonna turn on this pulled pork and put it together. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have us a sandwich, and we're gonna feel good. And guess what's getting ready to happen? We're getting ready to eat. And I'm telling you, you're gonna want some of this. So now, oops, I'm dropping stuff everywhere, just like a cook, just all over the place. So we're gonna take our onions and put them in there. If you don't like onions, you don't have to have onions. You can do onion powder because onion powder is good. You know, you can do the onion powder if you don't really like onion, but you want that flavor in there. And then before you start to cook it, take your seasonings, like your dry seasonings, and put that on the vegetable that's inside. You will always see that I do stuff like that because we have to bring our food up to a value to bring it to where we want it to be. I thought I had some pepper on my table here. Okay, so here it is over here. So we're gonna take some pepper and we're gonna put the pepper on top of the onion right here. We're not using any salt whatsoever. And the next thing we're going to use is our olive oil. Olive oil is another staple. My kitchen. Now, I don't really care if you use olive oil. The more expensive the olive oil, the more cold pressed it is. The lighter it is, the better it is. It's not as heavy, but any olive oil will do. Don't spend a whole lot of money on buying things. But if you do use olive oil is very good for your physical body. So now I'm going to come on over here and start turning on the heat here. Now remember, we've got we have the onions that's about to start cooking, and we already have in here our pulled pork. Now remember, I said I'm going to do two different sandwiches for you. Where I'm at, we got two different sandwiches that we're going to do for you. The first sandwich is going to be the pulled pork sandwich, and the second sandwich we're going to do is a basic turkey sandwich. How is that possible? I'm going to show you in 1 minute. So we're going to do this one first, and then we're going to do the second one afterwards. So we're going to do one that's pulled pork, and the second one we're going to do turkey without using anything, with the exception of the mushrooms and a little bit of seasonings that I'm going to tell you about as we go forth. So as this is getting cleaned up, may as well start talking about the turkey sandwich, okay? Now, that way I can do two things at one time. Now your turkey, we're going to take another piece of the mushroom. We'll take the mushroom here and we're just going to pull it apart. Okay. I love doing this because when you're hungry, like I want something to eat and I'm on this fast and there ain't nothing for me to eat. I wish I had a turkey sandwich. Well, let's make one. So again, we're going to pull this apart and you know, make the little slices that we're doing here. And like I said before, as you are talking on the phone, or, you know, you can do this all at one time, or you can do it, you know, at night, or you can do it like the moment, hour before you go to church, or whatever the case is, you know, and put it in a bag. You can season these things overnight with all kinds of different vegetables and seasonings. You can add oil to this. Your all of the oils that you're used to using, you can put that on this, and by the time you get home, it's ready to eat. Now, when you're doing the turkey sandwich, what I generally would ask you to get is the stuff that you use for your turkey as you make it, the turkey seasoning that you use for your turkey when you put it in the oven on Thanksgiving. You want to use a little bit of that in here, your sage. Okay, that's all you need is a little bit of sage, just a tad bit is going to give it a flavor like turkey, because there's nothing else in this on the flavor you tell it that it's going to be. So a little bit of sage, a little bit of turkey seasoning if you want, or just the sage alone, a little pepper, and that's all you need. Okay, so now I hear that my pulled pork is working over here. So now I'm going to go over there and I'm going to put in my pork. Okay. So now I'm over here by the pan here, and we're going to start stirring this up. Okay. Make it real easy. Look how pretty that's cooking up there. Cooking up real nice. And so we're going to let that cook a little bit longer, because, you know, and what can you have on the side of it? You can have a salad, mashed potatoes. You can bake you some potatoes in the oven. You can take some of the same seasoning that you put on your mushrooms, and you can put that on your potatoes. You can take a whole potato, which is what I would recommend, put some vegetable oil on that. And once you take that vegetable oil, put your seasoning from that you made from here on your potato, put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And I'm telling you, this is going to be some good eating right here. So now let's go ahead and pour this right on into your pan. Okay. So now we got this in the pan. Doesn't take very long to do. And we're going to take the rest of the nutritional yeast, my liquid smoke, a little oil. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Now you want your fire to be on medium to low because this cooks extremely fast. Now it's pretty much ready, but I need to add some more items to it. So your temperature could be about somewhere around, I would say maybe 150 degrees, maybe 175, okay? And so now we're going to add the jerk. Woo! I'm telling you, my mouth is watering, and I'm not even hungry yet, but it's watering. And so here we go. We're gonna put this in, so we've layered it, and we're gonna use the same flavoring. So we use the powdered flavoring with the Boston Jerk season. It's called Boston Jerk seasoning. I got this particular one from Pete's Produce, and it costs $2.39 at Pete's. In here, you got your nutritional yeast in here, and guess what, y'all? Sandwich ready. So this sandwich is ready, and I'm gonna see Pastor he getting ready to eat, y'all. I'm telling you, and some coleslaw. You get ready to eat in a few minutes because coleslaw is going to go with it. You know, coleslaw is another thing that you would do. So since I don't have the coleslaw with me, it is something that I would pair with it. But there's one more thing that I would like to do with this particular item. So remember, I told you I had a little bit of fruit. If we're going to make this really taste like a real pulled pork sandwich, we're going to take us a little bit of this papaya right here and take something spicy. Boy, I'm telling you, whoo, why my mouth watering? Because it's about to get real. Look at this piece right here. So we're gonna cut this piece up. Don't do this at home now. I do this all the time. You know, this is a very sharp item, so you gotta be very careful. I'm not going all the way down, but I'm gonna throw this in the pan and I'm gonna cut it up, and we're gonna put this right on in to the pan here. Okay, here we go. Throw that in the pan, and we're gonna start to stir this up. I'm gonna get a plate, and I'm gonna put it together, and I'm gonna let Pastor Steve taste it. Now, he's either gonna say, I can't do this, or he's gonna say, come on through. One of the two. So let's see which one it's gonna be. So I'm gonna get some bread, and I have a plate here. I'm gonna plate it up really quick. Technical. Okay. Small technical thing there, but live TV. There you go. So we got our plate together, and the coleslaw, where I'm here, the coleslaw is really simple. We could do a coleslaw where you take your coleslaw, put it together, some vegan mayonnaise, and a little bit of brown sugar, you're all set. Okay, because ours don't take that much to do. So now this is ready to go, so I'm gonna plate it up for him, and I'm gonna let him try it out. 15 and 15. So you have your sandwich. We're gonna put a little bit on top of it. And let's see if our sandwich passed the test. Would you like any onions on this? No onions? No onions, okay. Okay, here we go. No lettuce, no nothing. I want them to taste it. Straight up. Okay, here we go, straight up, here we go. You getting ready to do it, y'all? Let's see. Y'all ready? Here we go. The vegan pulled pork sandwich. Uh-oh. Come on here. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So there you go. This is a few seconds. It didn't take us no time. I did more of putting the stuff together than it did for us to make it. The second thing we want to do is make a turkey sandwich. Our turkey sandwich is only going to require a few things. Now we take us a little jicama. The jicama is this right here. This is your jicama. It looks like a potato, but it's also, it more or less reminds you, if you've never had it before, of an apple, okay? An apple mixed with a potato. That's what it reminds you of. But it is really flavorful, and it's something that you can put on your salad. It's something that you can put, you know, within your different food, because I like to have a little bite in my meat that I'm eating, especially with the vegan, because we have to, again, bring the taste up to where we have it. I am adding an apple because I like apples in my turkey sandwiches. Now, you don't have to do this, but remember, these things have different flavors to it. And, you know, it's going to give us a little bit of a texture. So we're looking for the texture and the taste. Now, remember, I said this is very easy to do. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. We're going to put some pepper on top of this. And once we put the pepper on top of it, just enough pepper just to cover it. And we're going to turn it around and kind of mix it up like that there. And the last thing we're going to use is the vegan mayonnaise. We're going to just dack it like that there, and your sage. Put a little sage in there, and that sage is going to give it the flavor of turkey, okay? And that's basically it. This is your vegan turkey sandwich. And we're going to eat it without cooking it, because it doesn't have to be cooked. I'm going to stir it up. I don't know what I did. It's over there. And I'm going to help her with me today. You all pray for her and her family, Miss Paris. And so just pray for them. And now we've got a turkey sandwich ready to go for you. Done. Look at that. That look good, don't it? So let's go get us a piece of bread, a sandwich bread, and let's put that on top of this. Might want to put a little bit of seasoning on there. Put a little of that on there. Either one, your call, whatever's the softest. Oh, this is a hot dog bun. Where did I get the hot dog bun from? I would take the, there's another one in there. And we'll put a tomato on top of this. I brought things that I didn't have to cut. So I'll put a tomato on top of it. Yes, that's the one I wanted. And then the last thing we'll show you today is one more time on how to make the dressing for a salad, okay? And next week we'll come back with doing the coleslaw with the next meal that we do, okay? So here, we're gonna take this here. And like I said before, you don't have to be a chef, you just have to be hungry. That's it, just have to be hungry. And once you do those two things, that's all you gotta do. And so in this, we've got a little pepper in here, like I mentioned before. We're gonna plate this up, and I'm gonna let Pastor taste this here. And this here is not cooked. It is just as a basic sandwich. That's a turkey sandwich. Remember, the sage is gonna make the difference. We don't have any sage on it right now, because I don't always use sage, but we're getting ready to do it right in front of you. Here we go. Oh God, Here we go. Oh God. And I was gonna put lettuce on it. You want lettuce on it? You should have lettuce on it. Okay, yeah, put some lettuce on it. Right there. And see, look, we taking things that you got already in your own place. I gotta go wash this off, so I'm gonna take 1 second, I'll be right back. Nice, look, nice, healthy piece of lettuce. Okay, so we're gonna rinse this off. This is so much fun for me, I'm telling you. So we got a nice piece of lettuce. All of this is good. We're gonna fold this bad boy up and make it look real pretty. Make it look real pretty like that there.
Fold it right now.
Okay, we're gonna do it like the chefs do in school. Look at that real pretty. Let it hang on out the side there.
Just the side.
Just a little side. Let's go ahead and get down. Uh-oh. Come through. See what I'm saying? Look. So he has 2 different sandwiches out of 1 meal that costs us $3.38 plus some a 98-cent bag of flour. I know, right? A 98-cent bag of mushrooms. Yes. That's all it is. And it's one of the better mushrooms that gives you a little bit of not only flavor, but it gives you some vitamins. Vitamin Z is in our oyster mushrooms. It has vitamin D in the oyster mushroom. It has vitamin A in the oyster mushroom and also vitamin C. So you're getting all of the vitamins that you need in there. I'm telling you, and that's why you can eat less, because your body is being satisfied. And because it's being satisfied, you're getting what you need and you don't have to worry about, the calorie intake. Now let's talk about the calories for a few seconds, because even though we're doing the fast, and I know it's not a diet, but I know a lot of you are like, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. This is how many calories? 0. It's a plant. So the content of this calorie, 2 tablespoons, which I told you that's what we would be using, is 40 calories. So I'm going to try to pull this up really closely to you. Is 40 calories in the nutritional yeast, the Bragg's nutritional yeast, 40 calories. We're only using 2 tablespoons. So if somebody's got a calculator, you got 40 calories. Now, mind you, we're using 40 calories, but we may get 5 servings out of that one thing. So you can't count 40. You have to divide that by the servings that you use. So if you get 5 sandwiches, you're going to divide that into the 40. Okay. Now it takes it down a little bit further. You get me? And then we're using some liquid smoke. We use liquid smoke. It has no calories. So it's got flavor, no calories. We want to do a lot of those, right? And then we had the pepper, no calorie. We have the Boston dry jerk seasoning, 0 calories. Again, everything that we're doing here, the whole purpose is that it's flavorful, that it gives you a good bite, and that you eat healthy. We have the papaya right here. The calorie intake is a fruit. I think it's 15 calories that I was told when I was at the store, because I asked a question. And then, of course, we can take all of the rest of this and put that into a dry salad. So all of these foods can be cooked as well as eaten raw. I think for 15 minutes, we've got a pretty good segment for today. So that's all we have for you all today, folks. And we're going to wrap it up. Remember, I forgot about that. I'm sure somebody said, what about the dessert? You told me about the dessert. Not the dessert, but the dressing. If you take these Driscolls, or you go to the farmer's market and get some strawberries, all we do is we're gonna take the tops off of these, okay? We'll take the tops off. Now I'm gonna do one dressing that's gonna blow your mind. And I'm surprised Pastor Steve didn't say anything, because I have something a little bit different than I had last time. So we got strawberries, because strawberries is just not just a fruit. And we've got strawberries, the papaya, and one more item that we're gonna make. Remember, we're trying to be in the kitchen less, but we want to be in there and make it healthy at the same time. We got a little bit of lettuce right there. We're gonna do this real quick and watch this thing come to life. It's gonna be so good that You all gonna say, can I get some of that salad dressing that you made the other day? And I'm gonna tell you yes. So I'm gonna cut up about, let's do, that's 6, I'm gonna do 7, just for good measure. And I have a little bit of the apple, so I'm gonna cut a piece of the apple and put this in here. And like, what is she doing? I'm so glad you asked. Because in our community, nothing's left. You don't need to have anything left. And then we're gonna take a little bit of the sides of this off and put some of this papaya in there. This is gonna be good. Okay? And then I got a banana. Ah! Look out. Or I'm telling you, if you don't like bananas, don't use them. But I like bananas. Bananas are good to me. Okay. So now, so that you can see what I'm doing, within this cup, we're going to add a little bit of the extra virgin extra virgin olive oil, and and it's lighter than vegetable oil. I was talking on a podcast today, and if you all remember back in the day when we were kids, we used lard. So a lot of the overweightness that we've had was from the weight of the lard, the animal fat that we ate. And matter of fact, if you cooked in bacon oil or whatever, back in the day, I'm talking how old I am for sure, we would use the olive oil. And then I don't have my agave. Shucks, don't have my agave. So this is not going to be complete, so I won't be able to do it all, but you use a little bit of agave, and so I'll make partial. So we won't be able to let you taste this today. You're lucky. Yeah, I'm sorry. But anyway, so you would take a little bit of the apple vinegar and agave to sweeten it up. I'm still gonna make partial, and then I'll make the rest of it when I get in and bring it to you guys, no problem. I probably would take it this way though. And so you add your water. So you have in a container, a half a cup of water. You have a 4th cup of the olive oil, okay? And then you will have a 4th cup of agave in the fruit. It should look like this when you're done. And then you're gonna blend it up in your blender. And once you blend it up in your blender, it's all done. I'm gonna try it just to see how sweet I can make it without it. Where is my top? There it is, okay? Then try this real quick. And these are not just for smoothies, but they're also your salad dressing. So here's your salad dressing. And if we smell it, even though it doesn't have the sweetener in it, smell that. That smells good. So that's what we do for our salad. So next week, we'll come back and we'll take this back again and we'll do this so you can have a taste of it, where you have a taste of it. And I wish I was able to taste it, but I can't because I don't have a spoon. They're over there and I don't want to leave the camera. But anyway, that's all we have time for. And come back next week so you can learn how to make more salad dressing, different kinds of salad dressing. We're going to do banana salad dressing, strawberry salad dressing. You give me a fruit, we're going to make a salad dressing out of it. And we're going to put together a real homemade salad that's going to look chef quality so that you'll be able to do it at home and just make your friends wowed based off of what you are showing them on your fast. You're gonna make other people want to be on the fast with you, because this is the way we do it at All Nations Community Church. Thanks y'all for coming on and watching us today. It's been a pleasure to serve you. Chef T here at All Nations Community Church. See y'all.